In the dense jungles of Colombia, there are stories so strange that many refuse to believe they could ever be true. This is the story of a little girl who vanished into the rainforest and returned years later with a life no one could imagine. Some called her feral, others called her a miracle, but everyone knew her as the girl who was raised by monkeys. Her name was Marina. She was just 4 years old when her life changed forever. One morning, while playing near her village, she was snatched away. Some say by kidnappers, others believe she simply wandered too far. However it happened, she was left alone in the heart of the jungle. No shelter, no family, only the endless green and the sounds of animals all around her. At first, she did what any child would do. She cried, screamed, and waited for her parents to come find her, but no one came. Days passed. She survived by drinking rainwater and eating whatever she could find. Bitter berries, roots, leaves. Weakened by hunger and fear, she collapsed at the base of a giant tree, believing she would never wake up again. When she opened her eyes, she was not alone. A small troop of capuchin monkeys had gathered around her. Curious, cautious, their dark eyes watched her every movement. She was too weak to run, too tired to care. She simply closed her eyes again, letting the jungle decide her fate. Over time, something remarkable happened. The monkeys did not leave. Instead, they began to accept her, sharing scraps of fruit and leaves, dropping pieces of food near her hands. She studied them, mimicking the way they ate and climbed. When she was strong enough to move, she followed them. In this way, she learned how to survive. Marina forgot the words she once knew. She stopped thinking like a human child. Instead, she learned the rhythms of the forest, which plants were safe to eat, how to drink from the streams, how to find shelter in the trees, and most of all, how to belong to her new family. Years passed. She grew older, stronger, wilder. Her hair grew long and tangled. Her skin darkened in the sun. She moved like the monkeys, climbing, leaping, watching from the branches. And she came to believe that this was her life now, that she would never return to the world she once knew. But deep in her mind, there were still memories. A woman's face she could not name, the taste of cooked food, the feeling of being held and loved. Sometimes, she would call up alone and feel something like sadness, though she did not have a word for it anymore. One day, men from a nearby village spotted her moving among the trees. At first, they thought she was an animal, but when they looked closer, they saw the shape of a child. They set traps and waited. When she was finally caught, she screamed and fought like a wild thing, biting, scratching, making no sound that resembled speech. It took months before she began to understand language again. The villagers bathed her, clothed her, and tried to teach her how to be human. But the jungle was still inside her. The instincts, the habits, the quiet understanding of a life most people could never imagine. Marina's story will be doubted by many. Scientists and journalists argued about whether it was true. Some called her a liar. Others believed she was living proof of the mind's power to adapt and survive. But for Marina herself, it was never about proving anything. It was simply the only childhood she had ever known. And if you asked her, she would tell you this: the monkeys saved her. They were her family when no one else came. And in the quiet moments, when the world was too loud, she still dreamt of the trees.